Okay, let's get into the next of the lineup of Practice Joy Show guests. And we're doing all these really fun commercials to kind of gear up the excitement for the Practice Joy Show. And I'm so excited to have you on, Grant. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. I super appreciate you having me on, Jody. Look forward to jamming out with you a little bit and filling some people up with some joy, some good energy, some good vibes.
Yeah, we need a whole lot more of that. So tell us who you are and where you are and what in the world do you do?
Yeah, so my name's Dr. Grant Dennis, and I stand for a world where health and living on people's own terms is the rule and not the exception. And I do that through a lot of different things, but the number one thing I do that through is chiropractic. In my office, I have two offices in Arkansas, so Arkansas is my people. That's my home state. It's where I grew up. Unfortunately, it's ranked 48th out of 50 when it comes to the spectrum of health in the United States of America. And so my big why is trying to turn that stat upside down, try to take Arkansas from 48th out of 50 to the top five. And I think that's doable. I think it's something that already is trending in the right direction. But within my two offices in Little Rock, which is, if you were to look at the map of Arkansas, right in the middle. If you were like, this is the middle of Arkansas, that's where Little Rock is. And then just southwest of that in Hot Springs, about an hour, I have a second office there, three associates across two offices. And our big thing is trying to make an impact across the state, holistically, and try to get more people living the joy-filled life, as you like to say. And I love that, and I resonate a lot with that. And I think that if we have more people, I mean, if you do the math, 50 people that just say, hey, I'm going to take over this one state, we got the United States of America covered. And of course, we know internationally we need it too. But in a nutshell, that's me. And I'm super excited to be here.
I'm really grateful that you do what you do. And I feel like I feel like if as many, I know as many wellness practitioners as possible feel more joy, more spring in their step and I was talking to my buddy Lou Corletto about this yesterday, name drop, right?
Yes.
Because if we can infiltrate joy for our communities and then they go infiltrate joy in their individual communities, it's this huge ripple effect. So how do you do it? Like, whether you're at the supermarket or you're in your practice or you're speaking on a stage, how do you ensure that joy is front and center?
Yeah, I think it first starts with just every day identifying and being in an alignment with your true purpose, right? I think one of the biggest things I find with talking to a lot of people, not only that I take care of, other docs in the field, people in my community, I think the biggest thing is if you're not aligned with your purpose, and if you're not aligned with that, it's really hard to find joy sometimes, because it's hard. Joy to me is, if you look at it, that by definition, it's just to be in pleasure or happiness, to just generally be happy all the time. I think the first thing is just, if I understand what my purpose is, I can be grateful for a lot of things. And I think for me, I'm extremely grateful at all hours of the day for everything that's been afforded to me. The ability to wake up this morning, the ability to be on this show with you and spend some time with you, all the people I'm going to interact with. I think the first step for me anyways is always just identifying gratitude first thing in the morning. What am I grateful for today? Where is the gratitude around me? Where are people maybe who I don't see that are grateful, and how can I help them feel more grateful? How can I, energy, we know is it can either be created or destroyed, only transferred. And so I think if you understand that joy is essentially the highest, frequency you can operate at, it's just truly being happy all the time. I think a lot of people think too, that's not, possible. You can't truly be happy all of the time. And I'm here to disagree with that. I think you can be happy all the time. I think it's an emotion that can be elicited or should be elicited any time. But for me personally, the way I connect with it every single day, whether it's on a stage or interacting with my team or practice members or anybody in my community, really, it's always just looking. I love people. I'm a people person, and I know that's for me a genuine gift that I was given, is that I just love people. And if you're grateful for the people that cross your path, and you understand what your purpose is in fulfilling that crossing of paths, then it's really easy to be happy. It's really easy to show joy. It's really easy to be in a high frequency state all the time. And I think a lot of times too, if you're one of those that struggles with that, the easiest way is to get around people who are that, because then you begin to gravitate to it, And so I try to constantly put myself around high frequency, joyful, happy people all the time. And then inherently sort of provide a light that when people that may be in a dark place come to the light, come to this direction, you know? And so for me, that's it. I think the first step that a lot of folks, it's just a really easy starting point is just, what am I, you know, just show gratitude all the
Are you
time.
ever grumpy? Do you ever get in a bad mood?
Oh, yeah, I mean, absolutely. There are certain things that come
What do
into
you
my life
do?
all the
What do
time.
you do? Like, if somebody, yeah, what do you do when you're grumpy?
Yeah,
What's your meter?
Yeah, I think the first, I think the first step is the identification of it. In fact, it's funny. It happened yesterday. I was playing golf and I had a scenario arise where I got a little agitated. I got a little grumpy, and not grumpy, but I was agitated, right? And I was like, I identify that I'm agitated. What can I do to fix it? And I think the first step is to, again, going back to gratitude, say, I'm grateful. I'm in this situation of what it is I'm feeling. How can I 180 this? You know, what can I do? What can I anchor to? And for me, it's always anchoring to success. I think for me to pull myself
Right.
out of a state of anxiousness, agitation, frustration is to anchor to some sort of success that I've had recently or that I want to have, that sort of just pushes me through at the time being and allows me to sort of just what I call recalibrate and say, hey, let's just recalibrate, hit the reset button. This is not a state I want to be in. But yeah, we're all human, right? And I think it's a constant evolution of oneself and trying to reach a Kaizen moment of trying to achieve mastering the
What did
ability.
you call it? Like what?
Okay. Yeah, so I like to look at the term Kaizen, which is a Japanese term that talks about the never-ending circle, right?
My son's name is Kai.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. So short for Kaizen, maybe.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just the Japanese symbol it's the paintbrush stroke that of a circle that never closes because it's a constant cycle through one's life of trying to achieve more joy, achieve more success, perfection,
Can you
happiness.
drop the image of that in the
Yeah,
post where you see that would be huge.
sure
So
can.
it's so funny the way that you're describing recalibrating, that's what chiropractic does for me. Like I know a lot of people who are watching this aren't chiropractors, and if you don't know about chiropractic, the biggest thing it does for me is it reconnects me to my center, and I truly believe that my center is joy. I've got all of these forces. I think that any force has an equal and opposite force on the, like there's anything here is going to be here too. It's the yin and the yang of everything. And when it comes to joy, I feel like joy is like right in the center of that and everything revolves around it. So at my core is joy. At my core is light and bliss and God and all of these things. And I just get removed, and I truly feel that that's what a subluxation is. And we could totally go down that. We could talk that all day long, right? So I want to ask you one more question. This is a big question. You ready?
Yep.
If you were to look back on the old you 10 years ago, okay, and you got to whisper one thing in your ear, what would it be?
Yeah. That one's really easy for me. I think, and it's been something that was a mentor of mine spoke into my life probably within the last year, is that most people don't realize that they interfere with their own innate potential every single day of what it is that they're actually designed to do, be, achieve. There's three big things that if I could talk back to my old self 10 years ago again, I would have said I need to remove these three interferences, and then that are identified as needs, actually, that humans innately don't understand is wired into them. And the first is a need to worry. We as humans have a very interesting defense mechanism built in where we constantly look for ways and needs to worry. The second one is a need to be offended. And the third one is my most favorite one, which is my need to be right. And if I could speak to my 10-year ago self, I'm 34, so 24-year-old Grant, if I could go back and speak to him, what I would say is if you can remove those three needs from your life, it's going to remove obstacles and roadblocks in your life that allow you to achieve joy on a greater level. Because I think those three needs that humans, so introspectively, as a viewer, if you're watching this on Replay or Live, I need you to ask yourself, where in my life am I constantly trying to have a need to worry? Maybe it's your business, maybe it's your family, maybe it's your finances, maybe it's whatever it is. There's something in your life right now that you constantly don't realize you continue to put in there as a need to worry. The second is a need to be offended. whether you're having a conversation with somebody, whether you're interacting with someone, what's really weird is we have this really weird need to argue and be offended. And instead, I'm giving you permission to just say, I don't have that need. I don't need to be offended. And the last one's the most important one. Do I approach everything with a need to be right? And what I've learned is, especially for me going through an undergraduate program and then going through a chiropractic, program for 4 years, then the starting of a business for 4 years, there's this inherent hamster wheel of worry. There's this inherent hamster wheel of offensiveness. And there's always this inherent like spinning of needing to be right. I have to be right about everything, right about the location I select, right about the person I take on, right about my fee structure, right about how I approach things, my technique, my everything, right? And so I think if we could all just take a step
Just
back.
said right. Like it's even what I say when I'm listening to somebody, right?
Yes,
Like, right, you're right, I'm right,
Yeah.
you're wrong, I'm wrong.
exactly. And I think if there's one thing that I've been able to do here of lately that's really just catapulted my happiness in life is that I'm giving myself permission to remove these 3 needs. I
Hmm.
don't always have to be right. I don't always have to be offended. And I certainly don't always have to need to worry. And I think
Right.
I think that's what BJ Palmer once said is don't take yourself so damn seriously. And I think what he meant by that is don't remove these needs from your life, because what they actually are learning lessons. They're things you needed to experience and learn to achieve a higher state of being and joy and happiness. And you can't truly, to me anyway, it's an opinion, I don't think you can truly reach an absolute state of joy or happiness without at some point in your life removing those 3 needs, because I think it's a critical piece to that. And so if I could go back and tell my 10-year ago self something, it would have been that, especially because I've been in the middle of chiropractic school and I'm like, you know what, I got a 75 instead of an 85. It's no big deal. I don't have to be right about everything. I passed on, I moved on, and I learned a lot. So
I love it. I want to ask you so many more things, but you know what? You're one of the only people. So we're doing this TV show with such influential people in the wellness circles. And we just got a big fat yes from Allie from Jane App. She's one of the Jane App founders. She's getting her own show. Just people who I've been following and wanting to learn from for
Sure.
years. And you're one of those people who I'm really looking forward to just diving into. So like what we can do is absolutely what we can do is we can start your show with going into those 3 things and just taking a deep dive into them and exploring how to do the antithesis. And I love it. Thank you so much for your time and for playing in my playground. And if you guys want to learn more about Grant, come on over to the Practice Joy Show. You're going to learn a ton from all of our awesome speakers. Thanks, Grant.
thank you. See you guys there.